Okay, we're here. Only 10 minutes late. Yeah, Jared, I was stashing all my money so nobody could find it. Let's see what news we got going on. If anybody is watching this later, I should have a pinned comment with any notable timestamps, so you're not watching a hour and a half long boring stream. For news, at 10, U.S. factory orders. Don't know if that impacts us very much, but we'll make a note of it just in case. And then I guess that's it. Besides, like, tomorrow's election day, so then I have no idea what the market's... Oh, and we have FOMC on Thursday, so we're usually a little choppy leading up to that, plus election tomorrow. I have no idea. I've never paid attention to the markets during an election, so we'll just see what happens. I want to slap on a trade real quick just to make sure I have something set up. Okay. That was just to make sure something was set up. Make sure Quant Tower's working correctly. Let's look at this 4-hour. Delta's at minus 42,000. I don't know if I've ever seen it that far away from zero before since I've been paying attention to it. I've only seen like minus 20. And that's been... I thought that was pretty far. What's up, Hunter Lot? So I'm not sure what to make of that. After that huge drop the other day, we've just been slowly climbing up, but then we started to stall here on the 4-hour. I mean, this is a big range, 160 points, but still a range nonetheless, and we've just been chopping around that, and we're on the lower side of it. Oh, hell yeah. I was long just a second ago, but that was just to test something. Hopefully this keeps ripping up for you. Got 30 seconds to open. Trying to think of a long or short bias for the day, and shorts would be because of Delta being so negative. But longs because we're at the lower end, the lower side of this range. But if this bottom gives out, we could just keep going lower with this delta being so heavy. I'm gonna reload this. $60. You just might get that. What's up, McLovin? Where's my delta at? What are you doing? This is what I was saying on the 4 hour. When did we take this guy out? That was on Friday. Or when did we put that low in? That was on Friday at 70. I feel like if we take that, we're just going to keep going. $100, hopefully you secured something there. Or you're still holding. Price did make a new low, and as did Delta. It's something. Gonna short right here. One entry. It's looking so pretty good. Just the way the price is reacting. Getting into 2 there. This is that minus 40, almost 46,000. I don't think I'm going to add another one. We'll save it. We'll just stay in it. 2 entries. Like 30 something points right there. When I get out. Once I start seeing it start to shoot up like that real quick. It's like 28 points. It wasn't our full position size because I'm willing to get into up to three entries. We only added once, so but I'm happy with it because it's more than 20 points. So it was basically a full take profit with the full three because I usually go for 20 points. So, and we got an extra 8 points there. And this is probably just gonna, this thing looks like you could just short it and hold on until this delta starts to turn around. I don't think I've seen it at minus 47,000. We're about to hit 20,000, which is a pretty big like level. So we might want to just wait and see how it reacts there. I'm using micros, mainly trades. Entering with 4 micros per entry and up to 3 entries, so up to 12 micros at a time. But then that lets me scale out, scale in. That little pump, that shouldn't have scared me. But I mean, we just had a weekend. We scaled down on last Friday, then a weekend, so it's like I feel like we got to get back into it, you know? But hell, even, I mean, if that's our only trade for the day, that's good. I'm not limiting myself to one trade a day, but got these lows here at 20. So we couldn't break it before, but I mean, I feel like we're going to break it this time. I don't think it's a good spot to get in, though. What's up, Knives? You done for the day? Yeah, that was a good long 100 lot. I was trying to not look for longs because of how deep delta was. But you might want to think about, obviously do whatever you want, but a ton of buying just came in and it just got ate up. See how it plays out over the next couple of candles. Tyler, you just get here? You missed our short. Yeah, I only took 28 points out of it, but I'm happy with it. We just rode this move down a little bit. like right here somewhere. Let me see. Ignore this right over here. This was just I was just testing to make sure I had Quant Tower set up because I changed some things around. So I wanted to just enter exit, make sure everything was working correctly. But we shorted at 2080-ish and covered down here for like 28 points. Can't complain with 28 points and quick and like almost no drawdown. Damn, we didn't make it to 20,000. I'm sure there were a ton of people shorting and holding for 20 even. So here we go. Here's a big divergence. Got this high. Delta's putting in this high. The same high on price is way up here at 2140. I don't think I'll take it because that's a 50 point stop. Now even more, 70 point. That's too much. I mean, we could go down to like 2 micros, but still just the psychological effect it would have by watching it go minus 40 points on me, even though I know it's scaled down. Watch this end up being a pretty good trade though. Hey, she's moving today. Yeah, we'll just let it play out for a little bit, see what it does. We do have some news at 10. I want this clock on here, but I need to make a mask for it. Frick. Still have yet to take out this high. But it looks like it's going to. Maybe. All right, ES is about to take out 930 open. That's what this is back here on Nasdaq. But is it going to take it out and turn around, or is it just going to keep going higher? Got some selling coming through, but we're not really moving it too much. Like, it feels weird to say like I'm just watching the interaction between how Delta is printing versus how price is printing, and then putting a lot of weight into how I feel with how that's being traded. But it's been working, but it's hard for me to explain it. Like, we had quite a bit of selling come through, and they didn't really move it much. Doesn't mean I want to jump into a long right here. I just want to keep that in mind for then how it reacts moving forward. If it does start to drop, then all that selling caught up to it, and then we finally did give way and we do start moving lower. So then I'll look for more confirmation for selling opportunities. If it doesn't start to go much lower, and we see Delta jump in going higher and price start to crack new highs, then we can look for longs, because buying pressure is stronger and we're moving more up. But with all that said, that doesn't mean any of it ever is 100%. So like, I think this is looking pretty good for longs because of how all this just played out. They couldn't really get price down. They tried one more time right here. But just got bought up again immediately. But then back to this high. Look how high we are from it on Delta. That's this one right here. We are so much higher than it, and we haven't even taken that high out yet. Everything contradicts itself. It's all risk. It's not. I guess it boils down to I want to see where these two things are not lining up, because then I can take that into consideration for one direction or the other. And then I'm also looking at kind of ICT stuff over here. You know, we're pulling back into this fair value gap. ES came almost back to its midpoint of that gap, but I'm not putting a lot of weight into those decisions. It's not many setups. Just I'm trying to take into consideration different things before I throw risk on. But yeah, you got to be careful that you're not looking at too many things. I think it sounds like a lot because I made a case for longs or shorts looking at the same thing. And maybe overthinking it and explaining it does me no good. Oh yeah, 100. Keep your green. So if we're in like this huge 5-minute fair value gap and we put in like a divergence over here that looked for longs, or that was like good for longs, I think I'd be pretty confident getting into that. Not confident, I would be accepting of the results if I got into that. And we're around 100 level. Yeah, it's the same drawdown as a combine. I think I'm pretty sure though you are now, if you're on a funded account with Top Step, then you have to stick to the scaling rule plan though. It's up one stop. We do have news in 5 minutes. I'm just stalking the charts for my next trade. We've only taken one so far. So I moved quite a bit for just a little bit of selling on Delta. Look at the size of this Delta candle. Was so little, but it produced a pretty big candle on the tick chart. I think I'm going to force myself to wait till at least after 10. Delta. It's going to get confusing around here with you because I just refer to this as Delta. You haven't been back since we started, huh? I think if ES and Nasdaq break these highs on the 5-minute, we could be going up for a little bit. We gotta wait for this 10 o'clock news. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but it was listed, so hell yeah. You follow your plans? Did you have good discipline? So we just swept the highs on both ES and Nasdaq. Now, do we reverse or do we just come back, tap these 5-minute candles, pony controls, rip up? We barely swept this high, that 930 high, and the high on Delta is way down here. And we've been up above it for quite a while, but we just barely took it out. They could barely get price above it. That's a lot of buying to come through to not really make much progress. Still liking longs though more. Got some equal highs on the 5-minute up at 180. I'm just conflicted though. I feel like it's so much harder for this to move up. But it could just be like a slow grind. We're just trading right now. I'm looking for a job, but and these accounts, these are just evals, so don't have any money coming in with these. I'm gonna get into one. Maybe if we break the highs, we'll get in again. It's like it's trying to sell, but it keeps getting bought up. Probably kill this around the 120s if it does. See, it's getting bought up pretty quickly. go. We'll add right here. Yes, it's trying. Keep going. Okay, we're not letting that. I'm not taking a loss on that. If it's not gonna go, it's not gonna go. So break even there. We just took out the highs barely, then too quick of a pullback all the way back to our entry. Back here on the low side of this chop, this 4-hour chop. Is that usually what happens on election days, Hunter Lot? I was saying, I wasn't, I don't think I wasn't involved in the markets the last election, so I have no idea what to expect. Oh, damn. We'll have to be careful. Might try along here again. We didn't get below those lows. Delta did. Price did not. Give it a second here. Now we're gonna go take it. You suck. Yeah, we call it come Delta. That works. I like the divergence right here. It's just not wanting to go though. But it's trying. Cum Delta? Okay. I feel like we're about to start a run of death by 1,000 cuts or whatever the saying is. Yeah, we've given up over half of our gains from our first trade because of this right here. Now we got a bigger divergence. Come on. This is where we chop the rest of the day in this range. Just struggling to get below this area. But they keep trying. Come on, man. It is stronger, but like price isn't really moving. They keep struggling to get beneath these lows. See, all this selling couldn't really break this low on price when Delta's way down here. Well, maybe we can make a little bit on the trap, you know. Go back up, take out the highs, and then we can get out, and then they can do whatever the hell they want. But this, I mean, all this selling, and they couldn't really get the price too far down there. Frick. Regardless, this is going to be my last trade. I can feel it. I can feel the emotions bubbling up. ES is looking all right, going back to its highs of this little area. So if we can get pulled up here, we're in the 3. I mean, if we can get the highs, we can get our 20 points. Like, this was a ton of selling, and it was just all being absorbed in here. I'm gonna get de-risk one at break even just in case it went back down. So just de-risking. We'll see if we can hold on to these two entries. We're in 8 micros. Oh my god, this is brutal. We're getting out at break even. At least, of course, it's probably going to just rip up now, but it's whatever. I can feel my emotions starting to, you know, and that's that's frustrating. It's frustrating we sat in that freaking thing the whole time. Are you kidding me? So if I was willing to accept a loss, I could have kept holding on to this because nothing was showing that until we break these lows down here, nothing is showing that we're going lower. Like I should ideally, when this is forming, I should just be building a position the whole time. As like I see like tons of selling coming in, we're not going lower, I can add. Tons of selling coming in, we're not going lower, I can add. And then hold on to that until it shows that's invalid. However, I looked at my balance a few minutes ago. I can feel my emotions. I can sense that I'm not going to accept a loss. So that's when I got to call it. You got to be freaking kidding me, bro. We would have had our goddamn 20 plus points now. And we exited right here. But I'm going to be a example and stop and not try to get something back. It just, I mean, we're ending green on the day. We just, that's just the markets. Like, that's just the markets. We freaking exited right here. And then if I waited a couple more seconds and saw this, we would have kept holding. I'm pretty confident would have held, but you can't trade when if you're not willing to accept a loss. So that's when I got to call it. We got lucky that we were in that red for quite a while. I got lucky that I was able to at least get break even, you know. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna take that. I don't think I was in too early. It's that my discipline was starting to fade. And it's because of this, because I looked at my trades here. I'll show you. When a little while ago, when I said, oh, we gave up half of our progress today. That's what started to get to me. So we were up 420, but then we took like a small loss and then a larger loss, which is perfectly fine. Like this wasn't this wasn't like too big of a loss. This was well within our plan and what we can accept. But just the fact that I looked at this and I was still willing to keep trading, that took a toll on me. I shouldn't have looked, but I couldn't stop thinking about like how big that loss was compared to our first trade because we weren't in a full position in the first trade. So because of that, I was not willing to accept a loss over here. Even though we could have, the accounts would have been perfectly fine if I was at a loss. But I knew I was green. I knew that I gave back a little bit already. So I'm like, oh, frick, I don't want this to turn into a red day if this is a loss, even though a red day is perfectly part of the plan and I should be accepting of it, but I'm just not. So I have to stop and not trade anymore. Thank you, 100 lot. Knives, yeah, we are going to. I'm hands off. I'm not trading anymore. Yeah, this is an Apex account, so it is trailing, but it's a 150K account, and $200 minus on trailing is not going to affect me whatsoever. I don't really. So at this moment, we don't have the full drawdown, but our drawdown limit is like 5,000. I'm not trading anywhere near the limit to have that affect me, so I don't really care. We can easily come in tomorrow, assuming I wake up feeling good, feeling like I'm ready to accept the outcome of the day. We can go in tomorrow just trading our plan, and that's a goal every day. I think anywhere one stop, like anywhere in here, would have been fine to build up a position based on how I'm trading, based on the strategy and the system that I'm trading. The reason why I was sweating was because I already was starting to think about, I don't want a red day today. That's the problem. And to look at anything else as the problem is just going to keep someone from being profitable, because the problem is when I entered over here, wherever it was, I didn't want a loss. That's the problem. But even look, as we were actively trading this and looking in hindsight, not only hindsight, because I was perfectly fine entering, to me, like I could screenshot this and write down, like, we could be building a position in here for multiple reasons. So I think it was perfectly, I don't think there was anything wrong with my entries. It was 100% psychological that I was taking a trade when I didn't want to take a loss or accept a loss. But goddamn, what a good move, huh? Frick. That's frustrating. That's real frustrating. Why didn't I hold on to that? It was looking good just because we had a little pullback, like the market does that. It's so rare to catch like one of these moves right here. It's rare to catch that. It feels real good when you do, but you got to expect some pullbacks. And I didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, one stop, that's you're gonna have to, do what you need to do, but if you start to have FOMO, you gotta just stop. Yeah, TradingView usually has a Black Friday sale. Look at this move. All this selling, and we were just eating it up in here. Oh my god. So starting here, that was all just being absorbed in this area. We were making lows, but not relative to how far we were making lows on Delta. And I was long biased looking at like these equal highs based on everything that happened before. God damn it. Knives, can you write this down for me? I have to start taking notes. Yeah, pretty much Delta. Like if I see a move happening on Delta, but the same relative move is not happening on price on a tick chart. I'm on a 1000 tick chart. That's a good area to get in. on top of other things. Like I was also looking for longs because of how the 5-minute was forming. So just because this happens doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time. The other day, this was happening. And at the same time, the same exact thing was happening the other day. And I was saying, all this selling is, I can't remember why. Like I need to write this down. But the other day, I think it's because I was short biased also. So I was short biased and this same thing was happening. And I was saying this might be a good opportunity for a short because all these people are shorting and it's building up and eventually it should probably catch up to it. And it did. And then we sold off like 60 to 80 points pretty quickly. So when this happens, it's got to be taken into consideration and like context for the higher time frame, I guess. But I don't really have I haven't been writing this stuff down, so I probably should, so I can have like an actual like legit playbook. I'm hoping Knives will just create a journal for me and write down all the things I'm saying. Damn it. How do I do that? And we were looking for, well, let's see. You weren't here for the first trade. How do I get the trades back on here? So the first trade that we took this morning, ignoring this because this was just a test, just based on looking at the 4 hour, we opened up at the low of all this consolidation from the last few days. And I was thinking if we keep going lower, it should go for quite a bit. You know, breaking this swing low on the 4 hour. We're at the bottom part of the consolidation. When I opened the charts, we were at minus 40 something thousand on Delta, which I've only seen it go like plus or minus 20,000. I thought that was a lot. So I was thinking we probably keep going lower. And we opened, had a little rip, but then we just started, tons of selling was coming in. So I just hopped on the momentum and wrote it down for 28 points and took that. But there was also a target, like on the higher time frame, it looked like we were going somewhere. And since we didn't get there yet, there was still room for me to hop on board. It's cool that this played out, but pretty frustrating we didn't make any money on it when that could have scaled out 1 or 2 up here and maybe tried to ride it for a little bit more. Yeah, you got a point there. Oh well. All right, well, trying to be a good example. I'm satisfied with everything today. I know why I got out of this trade. I'm accepting that I got out because of my emotions too early, that I got out too early because of my emotions. And like I said, when I was in the trade, I could feel that like I really didn't want that to be a loss. And that's when that's when I have to wrap it up. There's other moments in your life when you need to wrap it up as well. And this is one of them. If you're not willing to accept the outcome of your actions, you have to wrap it up. Well, you guys have a good one. If you keep trading, be aware of how you feel. And yeah, don't let the market get to you. GG's McLovin, Hunter Lot. We'll see you later. I'll see you guys in the morning for it should be a decent day, I guess, with the election. So we'll see what the hell she wants to do tomorrow. But you guys have a good rest of your day. McLovin, have a good night, and talk to you guys later.